Alright, welcome to part 3. We're going to create some pickup objects using the script that I created a few weeks ago. So let's double click on our player. Now I liked them in the middle, but maybe I should move them because I have that mountain there. I'm going to move them over a little bit. I'm going to just change this to 100, 100, and see where that takes me. And double click. I'm right here in that corner, that's good. I'm going to bring down my Y to 1, which brings me down closer to the floor. Perfect. So remember, I'm at 100, 100. I'm fine with that for now. Double click on your player so you're on the player. The reason you're going to do that is because now we're going to insert a few more game objects, and these are going to be our pickup objects. We're going to just use Unity to do this, but when you actually create your game, you're going to use Blender and make some cooler objects, whatever it is you want to be the pickups. But for right now, we're going to just go to Game Object, 3D Object, and let's just use a sphere. They're kind of big, but we can use that as a pickup object. So I just imported a sphere, and if you notice, since I was clicked on the player, it actually placed it right on the player. They're not attached, but it's on it. It's at the same coordinates, 100, 1, 100. And that's fine for right now. What you're going to do is we're going to duplicate this 3 times because we want 4 of them, because we're going to use one for faith, excellence, service, and integrity. So come over here to your hierarchy. The first thing, let's just duplicate. Let's click right click and hit duplicate, and then right click, duplicate, right click, duplicate. Now I have 3. Now I don't want to name them sphere because these are going to be my SLE pickups, so we're going to have a lot of them. So let's make each one an SLE. So right click, rename. We're going to do one faith. Right click, rename. We're going to do one, what happened? Right click, rename. We're going to do one integrity. Right click, rename. Did I delete one? We're going to do one excellence. And it looks like I accidentally delete one, so let's duplicate it again. And then we need right click, rename, service. Perfect. See, now I have a faith, integrity, service, and excellence. Now, if you notice, it looks like I only have 1, but I actually have 4s because they're all on top of each other. So what I think you should do is come around, get a better view, like a top-down view, and we're going to arrange these little pickups, right now they're just spheres, around my player. So when I go into the game, they're just very close to me. So let's take the faith one and make sure you're on your move tool right here on the top left, and then let's just move it this way. Let's go to integrity. Let's move it a little bit this way. Let's go to excellence. Let's move it a little bit this way, and let's go to service, and let's move it a little bit this way. Perfect. So now I'm surrounded by my pickups. Let's hit play and see what that looks like. I'm in the middle, and there they are. They're kind of low, so I might want to bring them up, but if you notice, look, they're just, right now, they're just objects that you can kind of jump on top of. I can't walk in front of them, I gotta jump around them. But we want to actually pick them up and get points, okay? So let's actually bring them up a little bit so we can see them better. I'm gonna bring them up to 2 on my Y. So let's try this. Let's click them all like this, and then let's just bring up the Y to 2, and that brings them all up. So now when I hit play, I'm going to more like run into them, which I want because I'm going to pick them up. Perfect. Let's get some color going on so we don't get confused. So let's go over to your colors that we created down in your standard assets, and let's just color them. I'm going to just color the faith one blue. Let's go to integrity. I'm going to color that green. Let's go to excellence. I'm going to color that red. See how I'm just dragging and dropping the colors? Service, and I'm going to color that yellow. Let's look at it again really quick. Hit play. Look around. Perfect. Remember, to get out of this, you hit escape, and then you hit play again. Now we need to add our code in our script. Luckily, I already coded this for you. So what you're going to do is double-click on your player. The first thing we need to do is get some code in here on the player. Now remember, in the inspector, you can play with this later. This is where you can change all your walk speed, your jump speed, the run, the gravity, a bunch of stuff here, but we're not going to play with that right now. But I just wanted to let you know about that. What you're going to do is in the inspector, scroll all the way down and look for this add component, okay? Click add component, and I already scripted this. So what you can do in this search thing is type in AMS player script, and there it is, it showed up. This is the AMS player script. So click on it, and I added this script which I coded, which gives you our points and the remaining. So what you need to do is, the way I coded this is because the remaining points may or may not stay in the game. I already created 1, 2, 3, 4 objects, so I do want to come down here and I want to place 4 because I know I have 4 so far. Oops. Okay? I will go into the basics of this code later, but now let's hit play and see what that did. Ah, look, there on the top left is my little scoreboard, and I have 4 remaining because I placed forward in that, but there's still one other problem. Look, I am not collecting these things. Why is that? Well, it's because we need to add some code to those now. So let's hit escape and go back out. Now, let's go to each one of our SLEs. So let's click faith first, and it's almost the same concept, but we got to find different codes for each one. So I'm going to click add component, make sure you're in the inspector, and type in faith. So this is the faith pickup script. So I'm going to add that to it, and let's see what that does. I'm going to hit play, and now, oh, look, it did nothing. Why did that do nothing? Well, there's one other thing you need to do. In order to make this something that you walk through or collect, you have to turn it into what's called a trigger. And in order to do that, look in your inspector and go to your collider. In this case, it's a sphere, so it's in the sphere's collider. See where it says is trigger right here? You want to have that clicked. That means now it's a trigger, and that means it is going to do something when you run into it. And basically what this is going to do, because I coded it, it's going to just give you a point. So hit play. That should fix the problem, and now when I run into it, whoop, look at the top. I just got 1 faith point, see? Perfect. So we have to do that now to our other objects. Let's go to the next one, which is integrity. I'm going to hit add component. Now look, you do not want to add this faith pickup, because what that's going to do, the faith pickup is going to add the point to the faith, but you want to add it to the integrity. So we have to get my other code. So start typing in integrity, and you'll see, whoop, integrity pickup script. That's the one I want for that. Remember to click is a trigger. And then let's go to the next one, excellence. Let's do the same thing, add component, start typing excellence, and it should come up. Excellence pickup script, very good. Click is trigger right here, and we're good. And let's go to service and do the same thing, add component, type in service, grab the service pickup script, and click right here is a trigger. Let's hit play, and let's see how that worked. Boom, I got a faith point. Oop, got a service point, got a, what was that? An excellence point and an integrity point. And if you notice, the remaining went from 4 to 0. Perfect. So what are we going to do next? Well, you can now just take these objects and duplicate them and create a whole bunch of them. When you do that, I suggest you try to keep it very organized. So what I like to do is I come over here and let's create, come to your hierarchy, and you can hit the create button, and you're going to create an empty object. So just create empty. Okay, and we're going to duplicate this again 3 times. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And guess what? I am going to rename this faith pickups. I'm going to rename this one to, guess what? Excellence pickups. I'm going to rename the other one to service, oops, pickups. And lastly, integrity pickups. Perfect. Why did I do that? Well, I want to keep all my pickups organized so I know what I have. So let's take my faith and put it into the faith pickup. Let's take my integrity and put it into the integrity pickup. Let's take my excellence, put it into the excellence pickup. And let's take, where is it, service, and put it into my service pickups. So now, as you can see, I just have a small menu with how many pickups I have in each one. So let's work with faith. Let's say I want to make a bunch of faith ones. So let's just duplicate them. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. So now I have 3. Move them. You can now move them around your screen to different areas if you want. And now I have actually 4 because I duplicated it 3 times. Perfect. And if you notice, the reason I did that is because it keeps it nice and organized. Now, if I go under faith, I know how many I have. If I go under service, I know how many I have. Let's hit play and see if it works. Now I got 1 faith, 2 faith, 3 faith, 4 faith. Now, if you notice, look at my remaining is still 0. So if you want to use that in your game, you are going to have to pay attention to how many of these you make, and you're going to have to change the code. So right now we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what you want to do is, remember, in the player code, come down here and set the remaining points to 7. Okay? And then now when I hit play, it's going to start with a 7 right there. And then if I go through and grab them all, it should go down to 0, 1, boom. There you go. And that's how you can start creating a pickup game with your SLEs. Later.